Hi class, I'm going to do two wee videos, one on how to do sine and another on cos. So here's a sine video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one where we're going to work out the side, and then I'm going to do another one just below on finding an angle. Okay, it's the exact same process as doing the tan, except the ratio is slightly different. So with sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, or O over A. Okay, so you need to memorise that. You're never ever given that. Okay, so we're going to go back to the triangle and we're going to properly label it, because they are saying work out this side here. So this is where most kids make mistakes in trig questions. They'll label it incorrectly, because if you label it incorrectly, you'll still actually get an answer, but you'll get the wrong answer. So the biggest side opposite the 90 degrees is always the hypotenuse. So that's got to be H. And this guy here, from the 90 degrees to the angle, is always the A. Now this is actually straightforward, because listen, we know we're doing sine, so the only way we can do sine is they've got to give us these two guys. But the trick's going to be later on when you don't know what one to use. So I'm going to plug this into the values. So yeah, I made a wee mistake here. That possibly would be sine x degrees. So sine x degrees equals O, my opposite, oh, look at this mistake I've done. Mr. Connell, may have to edit this video. O over H. Okay, so sine x degrees, well, we know what sine x degrees is. It is equals sine of 57, that's rubbish guys, that's terrible, equals my opposite, I don't know what that is, x, all over H, 21.2. Okay, so let me just show you what I've done there. So sine x equals O over H, you've been given the angle, so sine 57 equals x, because that is my opposite, even though the triangle was upside down, and 21.2. And by the way guys, just let you know, this came from the exercise you're working on to practice exercise 19.4, and I think it's 3F. Okay, now what we're going to do now is, you are good at this, you can do your rearranging skills. So move your 21.2 up to here. So 21.2 times by the sin of 57 and equals x. And if you want, you can flip it around to do this. X equals 21.2 times by, I'm not too bored how you do that, I just know how you do it, just make sure you get it correct. So 21.2 times the sin of 57 equals, and I'm just going to do it right now, times by 21.2, and you get 17.77. So sine, just put this bit in here, so x equals 17.779, it's centimeters. So x equals 17.8 centimeters. Now we double check, but just before you finish it, the biggest side's 21.2. So that's okay, because that's a smaller side. So if you ever got that, say like 28.9 or something like that, you've made a mistake. So that's to be checked, because your biggest side is always opposite 90 degrees. So I'm okay with that. Right, next one, hopefully I'll do it a bit more slicker. So this one here is finding the angle. So again, you're going to have sine x degrees equals my O opposite over hypotenuse, so by P. So O over H. Now we don't have the angle, so we'll just write sine x degrees. Right, so let's go and label it now. So look, there's the 90 degrees here, that's got to be the h. Okay. Now this is interesting. This guy here, so we've got the opposite and the hypotenuse. Now, this is tricky, this one actually, I just realised. Now look, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get E, but they've given me this guy here. What is that side there? That's the adjacent. And they haven't given me, no, look, see this bit here? There's the angle. So the side opposite the angle is the opposite. Mr. Coral, I've done my Weetabix yet, guys. So that there is opposite the angle. So there's your O there. So I'm going to sub in O is 8.9 over 10.4. Now I noticed in the last homework on the tan, some of you didn't do this. What you got to do next is, you can either work out what that is, so let's just go and do that. 8.9, so 8.9 divided by 10.4, and it gave me 0.8576. Now I'm just going to hold on to that calculator. I'm not going to shorten that. And but I'm going to hold on the calculator. Some of you in the hover homework left that like that. Okay, so look, what you need to do is this. This is a key mark here. You're moving the sign across, and it becomes the inverse of your 0.855. Now what I'm doing is I'm writing that, but I know I'm not using that value. I'm using that value because that will give me an exact answer. So if you round it and use that, you ain't going to get the right answer. Okay, so x degrees, and then I'm going to do, watch, shift sine of my answer, and I get your exact answer. Okay, 58.844, so I'll write that up, 844 degrees, so that becomes 58.8 degrees. So x equals 58.8 degrees. Okay, so that means you can go and do the sine exercise. Okay.